everyone, today I have a story time video for you. This is a bit different from my channel, but I'm just going to be doing my makeup and explaining to you how I lost my passport in London 24 hours before I was meant to fly to Canada, and how I also got it back again. Let's get into it. Just primed with my The Professional by Benefit, and I'm going to go in with my NARS Sheer Glow foundation. I love this foundation because it's such full coverage. To start this story off, when I was an air cadet, so this was in 2017, so I would have been 18 years old then, I got selected for this trip, and pretty much I was every wing, so my wing was Norfolk and Suffolk, and every wing had two people going, one female and one male, and I got selected out of my wing. So for this I had to travel down to London because the trip was to go to Canada for 3 weeks, all flights and accommodation and everything paid, and pretty much you only had to take your spending money, and that was like yourself, pretty much it. So obviously I was really lucky, really excited to win this trip. Couldn't really believe that I'd won it, to be honest, and I was obviously like really excited about this. So someone had taught me previously about the tubes because I'm not from London. I didn't really understand the tubes at the time, 18-year-old naive me. I got through London, I'd gone to King's Cross, and I got through the tubes and I was like, nothing can stop me now, famous last words, because pretty much I saw this other group of people who were also on going to different locations, but I knew they were the same trip as me because they had the same polo shirt on for the UK people, and this is a trip that it's like an exchange all over the world. So people from Canada come to England, and then people from England go anywhere, and basically anywhere the English cadets go, there's people coming from that country to see England, pretty much. So I was getting off this tube at the end of the Metropolitan line in London, and then I saw these people and I was like, oh great, like this is going to be fun. I don't really know where I'm going, but like I'll just top up my Oyster card and then we'll be on the way. So they were like, oh, do you want us to wait for you? I was like, no, it's fine, I've been on a bus before. Got on this bus which I thought was going to the place that I wanted to go to, and it was, but I was kind of lost and I missed my stop pretty much. So knowing my luck, and at this time I wasn't particularly stressed, I was like, this is fine, I'm a little bit lost, and I'd missed my stop, so I was like, you know what, we'll just wait until I get to the end of the bus, I'll stay on, it'll turn back and go the other way. I thought, oh, that's a pretty logical thing to do, but we got to the end of the line and the bus wasn't going back to where it came from, the other way, so I would have not gone past that stop anyway. The bus was going back to Twickenham tube station, or Twickenham bus station, which is not where the bus came from. And because of that, I was like panicking and not really understanding, well, not really knowing what to do. So I got off the bus, and with me I had a backpack and my phone, obviously, and a suitcase for the 3 weeks that we were going. That was the Boying concealer from Benefit, by the way, the cakeless concealer. Next, I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty Tandoor, which I absolutely love. I'm so happy I have this product now. I got off this bus and I was a bit panicked, and I was like, right, my Oyster card is low, I need to get some more money because I've got to go back the other way. So I had to top up my Oyster card again. I don't know why I didn't just top it up more in the first place, because then I probably would have never had this problem. But either way, I was in a bit of a panic and I had my phone in one hand and my suitcase in the other, and I was like, right, cool, let's go. Like, the top up point is right there, I'll be fine. I got off the bus and I went to take my backpack off my arm, and I went like that and I was like, my backpack's not here. And I turned around and I saw the bus driving off around the corner. So I ran through this part of London. I have no idea where I was, but we were meant to meet near Brunel University, so some point from there I literally ran after this bus with this red suitcase in my hand. I turned the corner and in London, all the buses are TfL, so Transport for London, so they're all the same, they look the same, they're either single or double decker. I turned the corner looking for this double decker red bus, and I swear there were about 30 of the same bus literally just lined up, and I couldn't see for the life of me what the bus I needed to be on was, and I ran up and down and I couldn't see anyone, because obviously everyone would have got off, so my bus would have been empty, so I was looking for an empty bus and it wasn't there, I couldn't see it, or there wasn't one without people on. I was getting in a bit of a state at this point because I just lost my purse, like literally everything you need basically. I had my passport in, it had all my flight details in printed out, it had my check-in, it had everything, my glasses, a phone charger, like everything you need basically. And I was obviously getting more and more upset. This like kind lady who could see me walking up and down trying to find my stuff, and she was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to get to Brunel University, but I obviously can't," because I told her what happened, and she was just so kind. She paid for me to get on a bus to go to the police station, and honestly, I think that I was in such a mess at the time. I didn't have like Apple Pay on my phone or anything at that time. Bear in mind, this is like 3 years ago. And honestly, I'm just so thankful to this lady. I put on our like little group page, can anyone call me? This is my number, my friend's on 13%, I'm in a bit of a pickle. So like the group leader called me, she was like, what's going on? I was like, well, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I explained the situation and she was like, right, whilst I was on the phone, she said, just go to the police station like you are going to and report it, and then we'll sort the rest out later, okay? So I'm literally on the bus to the police station, and this young boy, he's probably about 15, 16, he said to me, he was like, did you just say you're an air cadet? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, so am I. And I was like, no way, what are the actual chances? So he's like, what's like happened? So I tell him as well. So at this point I've told like 4 people the story. And he's like, oh, my house is kind of near the police station, I'll take you. And I was like, thank you so much. So I said goodbye to this lady who paid for my ticket and got off the bus with this boy. He waited with me in the queue once we got to the police station for a little while. And then he had to go home because he had cadets that night. Anyway, and I was like, thank you so much for your help. And I probably might not never see you again, but thank you for what you've done. So I get to the police station, I wait there for like 45 minutes in this queue. Whilst I'm there, I'm still trying to like call people and stuff, because my phone is literally on 4% at this point, which is very stressful when you're in the middle of London, you can't use your phone and you don't know where you are. They put my phone on charge for me, and then I wait in the queue, and this guy's like, oh, why are you here? And I'm literally like, well, you wouldn't believe it, but here's what's happened. And he goes, take some money from me, because obviously I didn't have my purse. So I was like, no, I can't take like any money from you. And he was like, no, honestly, take some money from me because you've literally got nothing. I was like, well, yeah, that is a fair point. In the end, he gave me £15, which I was very grateful for. This is the Becca Capri Coast bronzer, by the way. He was like, so what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know, I guess I'll just speak to the police and then we'll see where we go from there. I said, why are you here? He goes, well, you see, I'm on bail for fraud. And I was like, sorry, what? So this guy that's just given me money is on bail for fraud. Okay, I've just done my eyebrows off camera with the XX Revolution Fine Brow Pencil. I bought this recently and I actually really love it. This guy's just been like, told me that, and I'm like, yeah, what now? And he's literally like so chill about it. Anyway, so after I'm like, yeah, you can go in front of me, whatever, like you're going to take 2 minutes, I'm going to take like ages. So I explained to the police officers for what's happened, and long story short, they charge up my phone, they report it, the missing stuff, and then they give me a lift in a police car to where I was meant to be meeting everyone at Brunel University. When I get to Brunel University, I see someone else from my wing, and they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, would you believe it? I tell everyone what's happened, all the staff and all the other people who are meant to be on this trip that I'm meant to be going on, relaying this story for like the 472nd time. And then I get a call in the evening from my wing commander, so he's like the highest up person in Norfolk and Suffolk Wing, which is obviously where I'm from, and he says, what's happened? I tell him the story as well. He says, right, if you can get your stuff back tomorrow, we'll pay for your flight to be transferred to the next day. So the next morning I get a call from my dad and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, well, I should be in Canada right now. He goes, yeah, I know, but where are you? Because I know you're not in Canada because someone from Twickenham bus stations just rang me telling me they found your passport. And I'm like, well, at this point I hadn't told my parents because I thought they'd be mad that I'd lost my passport in the middle of London, which is probably never going to get back to me. She's just called to tell me that she's found your passport and your backpack and everything, and she's used the emergency contact in the back, which is obviously my parents, to find me and ring me. So I tell my dad what's happened. He's like, you woolly. And a member of staff from the Air Cadets takes me to Twickenham bus station with another cadet, and we go and pick up my stuff, and in it the only things that have been taken are my NHS prescription reading glasses that aren't bougie frames or anything like that, my iPhone charger and 30 quid cash. And I'm like, what, my passport's still here? So all of that stuff happens. Obviously I've still got my passport, which is amazing. I get this stuff back as everyone else is flying to Canada. So basically I wait it out, and 24 hours later I go to Canada on my own, and that is how I took my first long haul flight. I do really get myself in some scrapes sometimes. That was my story time. That is probably the most unfortunate thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And obviously I'm all done with my makeup. If you want to see what that trip actually turned out like, I think that's my very first video on my channel. I'll link it in the description box down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for coming to listen to my story time. And I'll see you very soon. Bye!